Hello there and welcome to Black Sheep Wools. Today we are joined by the wonderful Debbie Bliss, who I've got to know quite well over my time at Black Sheep, and who's led me astray once or twice, and I think tonight may be another one of those occasions. So hello Debbie.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
That's right, I'm looking forward to leading you astray.
I'm looking forward to it too. Although I'll be taking it a little bit easier. I apologise for my voice and if I'm sniffing because I am full of a cold at the moment. So, firstly I need to show you this. This is Debbie Bliss's knitting bag. I've never seen a knitting bag so untidy in my life. Sorry Debbie, just fascinates me.
It's just that I was working on 3 projects on the train, but it's just that they amalgamated into one big project, unfortunately, by the time I got off at least.
But I do like the way that it's all colour coordinated.
It's all about duck egg with me.
So, some questions here, and some that you will have been asked before, I'm sure lots of times, and some hopefully that you've not. So who taught you to knit and how old were you?
I can't remember, it must have been Mum. It must have been Mum that taught me to knit, and I've got a memory of having a doll called Betty that had a little red cardigan on, but I don't know whether I knitted it.
Was your mum a good knitter?
Well, she was a heavy smoker, let me put
Right,
it
okay.
So, what I did tend to find is sometimes it was those little bits of cigarette ash, or sometimes just like welded into the knitting, which made my school cardigan just have that odour.
Oh nice!
Of,
that sounds lovely.
Yeah, black cap cigarettes. But I wouldn't say that she was accurate, but she was a steady knitter, I would say. Yeah.
See, my mum's not a bad knitter, but there is still an element now that I'm a much better knitter than she ever was or is, which does frustrate the life out of her.
Does she take it quite badly?
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah. And how old were you, do you think?
Probably about 5, I think.
Do you remember not being able to knit?
That was that. I do remember.
I can't remember not being able to do it.
No, I must have been. I know, yeah. To be honest, I think I was more of a reader than I was ever a knitter.
Right, okay. When did it become a real passion then?
It was actually after I'd gone to art college, and I realised that I was really rubbish at doing. I did fashion and textile. I was incredibly rubbish at doing pattern cutting. So I wandered round, hoping that I would find something I could do, and they had knitting machines, and it was a really fine art based course which that I came up with. I made coats out of cardboard and like organic wool-like things, and then employable then, strangely, for the next 5 years after I left college. But then I started off doing knitting plants, and then I sold some to Liberties, and then magazines saw those, and then they asked me if I could...
Knitted plants?
Yes.
Okay. Right. I'm quite sure. I must ask them, where did you get your inspiration from?
Well, then, I started off, I should have started off smaller, I think, looking back. And I made an enormous Swiss cheese plant, the ones like rubber plants that are cut out. And I made it out of lurex, and it was all wrapped round a hose pipe which I filled with plaster of Paris, and it looked great, and I sold it to Elton John.
You sold it to Elton John?
Yeah, through a shop called Christmas Strangeways, and then after a week it had fallen apart tragically.
Do you know how much you sold it for?
Well, I think probably I got threepence.
Right, okay.
And I think probably it was sold on for a little bit more than that.
So you sold the knitted Swiss cheese plant to Elton John?
I did, yeah.
Oh, what a claim to fame, that's fantastic.
Proud moment.
Can you remember what it was knitted in?
I know it was chenille, which I then knitted in lurex.
Yeah.
And then I, such an artist, I hand dyed the yarn that formed the cover of the cane, so that it had like the shading where the knobby bits on a cane would go.
Everyone's looking quite puzzled now, sat around trying to imagine this.
Yeah, it's why I never made any money.
What would
be a year?
Oh, surprise! What would be your favourite yarn to knit with now, if you could only do with one thing?
Of my yarns.
Could be anything. Could be.
To be fair, it would probably be better if I chose my own yarn.
Yeah, I think so.
It'd be Paloma.
Oh, would it?
Yeah, I love Paloma.
I've never knitted in Paloma. What do you like about it?
Because it's not on too big a needle. So I think we were talking earlier about. I love the fact that I love the chunky yarns, because particularly young knitters can do things in an evening or have a big beanie hat. But I like that something that isn't quite so big, so I can skip along. I like to knit quickly.
Right,
It's
okay.
just, it's so soft and I just love it. But then sometimes your mood, you must find this, isn't it? That your mood, sometimes I want to do something quite delicate and small and
Yes,
baby.
yeah.
And then I'd use baby cashmerino.
Baby cashmerino would be my desert island yarn, and that isn't just because you're here, it genuinely would be my... But I like fine knitting. I don't like anything really chunky, and I really struggle with it. But that would be, I just love merino.
There is something about a wool that it seems like, there's something old-fashioned about it. It seems like a proper yarn, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
There's something good about it.
Yeah, you know it's going to last as well when you're doing it, and just the colour palette's fantastic.
Worthy when I'm knitting with a lovely merino.
Do you knit for pleasure, or is it all work-based?
No, if I want to knit for pleasure, it will be something like, I'm sorry that you have to witness
right,
this.
yes.
I'm so terribly sorry. It'll be something like a little beanie hat.
Right, okay.
I love that, and it's in a cotton. But it feels nice when I'm working with it, and it's so simple that I could probably do it while I'm asleep, and I find that soothing.
Do you listen to the radio or watch TV or when you're knitting?
During the day, I now have young people working with me, and I'm not letting them go quite as far on the radio. So we've come to a nice. I don't do Radio 4 anymore. We've come to a balance, which is now sometimes because Teresa likes Jeremy.
Oh, I love Jeremy.
I'm a Jeremy fan, but now we have gold on during the day.
Oh right, okay.
And then usually during the day we like to get up and have a little dance. There's a kind of time about 3 o'clock. I don't know if you find it.
You really must video that and send that to us. That would be great.
On our shoots, we like to, at the end of any shoot, we like to do, you know that scene in Pulp Fiction where Uma Thurman is doing that.
Do all this business. Yes,
thank you. We just like to finish off her shoot with that.
I can see you as Uma Thurman. Yeah. Who's John Travolta? It's not David, is it? That'd be David Watts, who's with us tonight.
Sometimes Teresa steps in for
okay,
John Travolta.
right, yeah.
Is anybody that can get down that far, which obviously isn't me.
Somebody young.
Somebody young, yeah.
Do you have, where's your favourite place to knit then?
Oh.
Would it be in the studio surrounded by the young people?
No, because there's so many distractions during those, so many emails, there's lots of stuff. So in a way the business gets in the way of that.
Right.
I don't know, I like knitting in the evening, boxed set.
Yeah.
The only things I find that I associate it too much now, because last night I was watching the Borgias as I was knitting the beanie hat, and then I found earlier when I was knitting the beanie hat, I kept thinking of scenes from the Borgias.
I've watched the Borgias, yeah. It's pretty explicit.
It is.
Yeah. I watched it with my husband Matt, and I actually get embarrassed watching it with Matt, so yeah, some of it's a bit risky. You can't believe it's a Channel 4 programme, honestly, some of it's a bit risky.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Yes, yeah. But
so
I think
I'm going to
worse.
have to do something slightly, watch different things now, I think, when I'm knitting, because I think I might be knitting it into the actual
It's really fast. Yeah. Do you have a treasured piece of knitting that you'd never get rid of? Something that means something to you?
Yes, and it's an unhappy story in many ways.
Okay.
Sure, no, it's the first time I ever, after I art college, and I was commissioned by a magazine. It was actually a Artworks, and I'd gone in, and when I came back, and I'd had this sweater commissioned. It had little kind of sock heels in it, and I just thought this was the most exciting thing that had ever happened to me. And my mum knitted it beautifully, let me say so, and typed up a pattern for me on a typewriter that had lots of little jumps on it, and then took it into the magazine, and then the editor came in and sent it back and said that it was really badly knitted and it was awful, not the standard they expected. And I remember walking around going, oh no, this is awful. You know, your first really bad rejection where you think that you'll never work again. And I still have it, and that was,
Did you tell your mum?
No, never.
No, I bet you couldn't.
No. But I still have it, and she knitted it beautifully, but it's kind of there to go, it's a little reminder, or a reminder of how lucky I am and two, thinking that, looking at it, I could never have imagined that I'd be sitting here talking to you. When I
Is it true? Are you the most published knitting designer in the world? I'm sure. Have you done more patterns than anybody else? I'm sure.
That probably is true, only that I've just been around so long.
So you just got there by your age and nothing else.
Oh my God, which will never go away. I think probably, yeah. It's longevity, I have to say, rather than they just can't get the publishers just, oh, do you want to do another one? I suppose, yeah. An eye roll, and then, yeah.
Not so. If you were going to give us one knitting tip, so one thing we should do, what would it be?
Oh no, it's the most obvious one, but the one I'm the most passionate about, and that is always do a tension square.
Well, funnily enough, Sarah Hatton, who I think's done some work with you, she said the same thing, but and I never do, and I never did. And she said, do you realise if you are one stitch out, it could add 2 inches to your garment?
Yeah.
And that was the biggest shock to me, and since then I've told loads of people and I've always done it.
To me, it's all about proportion, because I'm passionate about proportion. So when I'm designing something, because I want it to be as flattering as possible, I know exactly where, I want to say a standard body is going to hit. So I know that perhaps I want it to make sure it goes over the bum, perhaps I want to make sure it doesn't cut you in there. There are bits on women's bodies, aren't there, where we don't really necessarily want it to stop or start. So if someone's tension's wrong, it might come out shorter and wider, it might come out long and thin, and it won't be what the knitter's seen when she's looked at the picture of it by the pattern, and it won't be what I would have imagined.
Right, okay. That's a good tip. Okay, well, thank you ever so much. Thank you for coming joining us. And yeah, sort your knitting back out, please. Thank you.